Saks faces huge backlash from the brands that they are working with. And not just that, it's a conglomerate of different brands. I mean, it's Saks Fifth Avenue, Saks, Neiman Marcus. What else is there? There's a bunch of them. They're all together and all in one, right? And here's the issue. So apparently, because we are in economical crises at the moment, and well, Saks, we got two issues. We're going to get to the second issue in a bit, so stay with me through till the end. The first issue is the payment. They're apparently not paying the brands. So it's like saying, look, I have this like big shop where store, shopping center, whatever have you, luxury, non-luxury, doesn't matter. Saks is usually upper end, upper scale, luxury. And I'm ordering stuff from Versace. I have a little corner that Chanel allowed me to do, like to sell their shoes. I'm ordering Chanel shoes. Chanel usually doesn't play, but let's see. Then we have Schiaparelli in another corner, all of these brands. And then we have some of the little lower end brands, but a little bit more hype beast type of style brands, a little bit streetwear savvy, and I order all this stuff, and I've been around for a century, so I'm a very popular department store, and I'm not paying the merch that I've ordered from the brands. And the brands start complaining. But I'm also publicly available on the stock market, so the shareholders also catch wind of the fact that I have not been paying my people, the brands that I'm selling in my store. So the brands deliver the goods. I place them in my store. I sell them. I earn the money from the sales, but I haven't paid the brands yet. So the brands are really, really complaining. Now, apparently there's a new CEO. Well, not a new CEO, but they say, according to a memo sent by Saks Global CEO Mark Metric, and by the way, everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. While you're at it, subscribe, you guys. We're almost at 100,000 subbies. Thank you so much for your love and support and for subscribing. I mean, it's been 10 years, so I'm really happy that we're going to make it to 100K. If it would be an honor and a pleasure. So let's get to 100K. Thumb up the video. So he says brands that are waiting for payments will have to wait. And I'm like, the brands have gone, done, had theirs share of wait already. No, they got to keep waiting. And he says overdue bills will be processed over a series of 12 installments beginning in July. Like, girl, as we're filming this video, it's February, okay? February. So we got March, April, May, June, July, 5 months. And then they're going to start processing in 5 months, okay? So the brand still got to wait 5 months. Then they're going to start processing in July. And then it's going to be on a 12 installment basis. And he's not specifying here how often are the installments going to be paid. 12 installments, if you're paying on a monthly basis, that's 12 months. That's an entire year after 5 months. Girl. But it doesn't end there. It gets worse. He says, however, he reassured, and I love when CEOs try to sell a shitty situation and try to make it sound like it's great. He said, however, he reassured vendors that any new orders would be fulfilled within 90. That's not 19, that's 90. 90 days of receipt despite the 60-day industry standard. Y'all, it's like, first of all, this is so funny to me because the CEO is acting like I'm his employee. Like, let's say I'm the brand who got an order in from Saks for, let's say, 150 pair of trousers. Okay, but they already sold my trousers last year from the last collection, which they didn't pay me yet, and they're going to start paying me from July in 12 monthly installment, not monthly, 12 installments, whatever that means. So I had to, for the shipment that I sent to them last year, I had to spend the money myself to manufacture the 150 pair of trousers that I sent them over to Saks to sell. They've been selling them or not selling them, doesn't matter. It was on a wholesale basis. They were supposed to pay their invoice. I mean, depends on the deal they have, honestly. With some brands, maybe you can strike a deal and say this is commission based, or this is on like, okay, if I sell it, I give you the money. What I don't sell, I send back to you the merch. There's those deals as well. But for the deals of paying up front, we're talking usually wholesale are the prices. So you send something. I mean, I worked in fashion and for decades. So anyway, just before we get to some misunderstandings, because I know how you get feisty in the comments and you're going to come from me saying, but this is not how it works. Trust me, this is how it works. So if a brand sells ahead of time, wholesale to the company, in this case Saks, it says, okay, here for the 150 pants, we're charging a wholesale price of whatever the sum is, $10,000. Saks is like, okay, perfect, send over the goods. I send over the goods that I had to prepay ahead of time, okay? And not that I don't pay 10,000, I pay less. I pay production costs, shipping, manufacturing, whatever it is, designing costs, and then I add a percentage on top. That's going to be my profit margin, and then I send it off to Saks. Saks then pumps up that wholesale price, adds another 2.6 to 3% on top, depending on how they want to do their margins of markups on the wholesale prices, and then they sell at retail prices, which you get to buy it for. So I already paid to produce, manufacture, and deliver the 150 pair of pants, but you never paid them. So now I, the designer and manufacturer, is at a minus, but you have my goods already, and you've sold some of them, but I haven't seen any money for it. And now you're telling me you're going to order from me again, and you're like saying, and I'm reassuring you, boo-boo, that this time we're going to be paying you 90 days after delivery. 90 days, that's 3 months. Where am I supposed to find that money? Where am I supposed to find that money to manufacture these 150 pair of pants for you while I'm still waiting for you to pay me for the pants I sent to you last year and manufactured for you last year? So this is a big problem. The brands are angry and upset, justly so. You can imagine how a lot of the brands are not going to have the money to manufacture the goods. Where are you going to get the money from? Now, if you're lucky enough that you have other businesses that are working with you, maybe those other businesses are paying you, so you can use the money from another shop that paid you in time, and you can use that money to reinvest in manufacturing more pants for Saks. But I'm just using pants as an example. It can be shoes, it can be accessories. You catch my drift, anything. I just used pants as a stupid example. So, yeah, Akolu says in the live chat, this is a liquidity issue. By the way, I live stream on my channel several times a week, so I'm live streaming now in front of a virtual live studio audience. So come subscribe to my channel and partake in the live chat. Sakulu just says liquidity issues. So, and then there's, and then to top it all off, one of the most historic venues of a Neiman Marcus ever, which is in Dallas, is closing. It's officially closing for good. It's done. It's over. It's game over, baby. Neiman Marcus in Dallas is closing. And this is a huge thing for me, particularly because of the history that particular Neiman Marcus has or has had in the 50s with Coco Chanel. Coco Chanel came to visit Texas, Dallas. She flew in, she went there. There's still like a photo of her. Her signature is there inside that Neiman Marcus. I wonder who's going to get to keep all of that memorabilia. And so, yeah, Neiman Marcus, she flew in and she got an award as like best international. What was the award she got in the 50s? Like best international designer of the year or something like that. So she was honored with an award, and they also sold her stuff, the Chanel stuff at Neiman Marcus. I mean, we're talking, this is history, you guys. Now, I'm not saying I wish that they turned that Neiman Marcus into a museum, although Oh my God, this is such an idea, by the way. I don't think anybody's ever had it. It's probably a waste of money, but I would love, okay, hear me out. Hear me out. What I would really love, oh, that would be for me worth spending the money on a flight, on a ticket to go there just to see this. Could you imagine if they turned, like somebody, some private investor or somebody who's a billionaire who loves history of fashion and doesn't care to lose money while investing in a project that I came up with just now. My idea would be to turn that Neiman Marcus into a museum of the history of a department store, of a luxury department store. And you can turn every floor of that Neiman Marcus into a different decade. So, oh man, this is so good. I'm envisioning this and I'm like, oh my God, I want to live there. And every floor is turned into a different decade. And so we just have to figure out, do we begin with you know what? Yeah, this is how we do the best, save the best for last. So I would say we begin as you enter the Neiman Marcus. On the ground floor is the current time. It's like the latest era, which is quite tragic, right? And then you go up to the second floor, and that's, so we're in the 20s now. So then we're like 2010s, and then we go in the 2000s, and then the 90s, the 80s. Well, I don't know if it has so many floors. Well, maybe we can eliminate the 20s and the 10s and the zeros. I think all of those can be shoved into one floor because they were ugly anyway. Add some hotel rooms. Add a few hotel rooms. Oh my God, we can add hotel rooms on every floor if you want to stay the night in that epoch. Ah, okay, hear me out. And then you go to the second floor, we get the 2000s. Third floor, 90s. No, second floor, 90s. I mean, first floor, 90s. So ground floor, 20s and 10s. 90s, first floor. Second floor, 80s. 70s, 60s, 50s, or how many ever floors they have. But I really want to make it to the beginning of Neiman Marcus, which I think it opened up in the 40s or 50s. And of course, I would want to be at the top floor in the oldest era. I would want to spend all my time there. I would rent a hotel room if they made like 4 hotel rooms per floor. And then you get to live in that era and you get to like walk through Neiman Marcus from the 50s. And they still have the little, tags with the prices on it. The cafe, the 50s style cafe, and everybody's dressed dapper. Oh my God, that would be so amazing. I think that's a great idea. Actually, you know what? I think this is a great idea for an investment. Didn't we talk about this just a couple of months ago? In quite a few videos of mine where we were analyzing like the future of luxury, and we said luxury is dead, but experience luxury is what people are going for now. People are willing to spend a pretty penny on luxury experiences. This would be something I would love to spend money on, to travel to this historic museum, Neiman Marcus, and then spend a day on the upper floor, then spend another day on the 50s floor, the 60s floor, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. Man, I would live for that. Could you imagine? And then, yeah, okay, obviously they can't sell you stuff from the 50s on the 50s floor, but they can have some inspired items. It's an experience. It's mostly about eating. There's a restaurant up there, a cafe, a hotel room, and you walk around the museum and you have the feeling like you're like you're back in that time. And this is something I've been feeling a lot lately, you guys. I've been craving this time travel. I've been craving spending time in another time, when times were slower, without social media, without all of that technology. And then they sell you magazines. Oh my God, newspaper. And you actually, you walk past a bench and there's actually a person sitting on the bench with a real printed newspaper reading the news through it, with a beautiful little fedora hat and a little trench coat, a little bit beige, a little bit, no, seriously, wow, what a dream. And I would even dress up for the occasion. Like how Disney has Dapper Days? Like, I would do the same. I would like dress up to fit into that decade what's it called? In that Neiman Marcus. So anyway, there you go. Usually I'm paid to give this sort of tips to brands. But here's a little free one for you. Now, if you want to know more details, Saks, give a hoe a call. We can talk. We can talk. I have ideas. But here my heart beats for Coco. Cocoon, cocoon. This is a cute little bag from 2021, by the way. A necklace, heart on a chain. Anyway, I digress. What are your guys' thoughts about Saks not paying their people, the brands, and about the Neiman Marcus, the historic Neiman Marcus in Dallas closing? What do you guys think? And what do you think about my idea of opening up this little experience, this luxury time travel experience in one of the most historic buildings, fashion buildings of American history? Thumb up the video, subscribe, and never give up on Fashion Lure. Bye.